Hi, my name is Rachel Taylor. I am a certified functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner, and in this video, I'm going to walk you through the exact steps I took to heal my gut. Back in 2018, I had a GI map stool test done, and this test showed that the reason I was dealing with chronic stomach pain, bloating, nausea, and a whole host of food sensitivities was because I had things like E. coli, H. pylori, a bacterial imbalance. I wasn't digesting my food properly. I had a really low immune response in my gut, and the list goes on. And so this really opened my eyes and connected the dots for me. If you want to learn more about the GI map and what my test results look like, check out the video linked below. And if you want to learn more about my entire health story, I also have a video on that linked below. But today we're going to jump into the lifestyle, diet, and supplement changes I made that truly made a huge difference and put all of my gut symptoms in remission. So the first change I made was my diet. Before I had the GI map test done, I was fairly gluten and dairy free, but I was not super strict about it. After I got the test results back and I saw what was going on with my gut health, I then went very strict gluten and dairy free. I avoided all grains as well, so no wheat products, no rice, no oats, and I did this for a short period of time because it was really important that I healed my gut and gave my gut a break as it was repairing. So I avoided gluten, avoided dairy, all dairy products, and I also avoided processed sugar. So basically any food that tends to be inflammatory and hard on the digestive system, I eliminated those, and that really made a difference in how I felt when it came to the food I was eating. I also focused on nutrient-dense whole foods. I cooked most of my food at home, did not eat out a lot at this time, but it was because I had the goal of healing my gut. And I also incorporated a lot of gut healing foods. So I drank homemade bone broth several times a day. This is such a great food that is soothing on the gut, easy to digest, loaded with good nutrients, good vitamins. I found that that was just like a super great thing to incorporate. I also avoided raw salads and lots of raw vegetables because I found that at the time that was actually causing a lot of bloating for me. And it was just because my digestive system could not really handle breaking those foods down properly. I also really focused on chewing my food. This seems like super overrated and like, what's the big deal? We all chew our food, but I found because I was a very stressed person by nature and my job was pretty demanding and I was on my feet a lot, I didn't really take the time to sit down and chew my food and eat in a rested state. And that became something that I focused on more. I also addressed my work-life balance. So I was working a very demanding job, incredibly taxing on me physically. I was working on a horse farm 8 to 12 hours a day. And on top of that, I was working out in the gym several times a week. I was swimming, lifting weights, walking, sometimes running. It was just way too much on my system, and I was not prioritizing rest and addressing the stress in my life that I could address. So I really shifted a lot of my work schedule and also made it a point to rest, take days off, get lots of sleep, and try not to push myself so much because my hormones showed, I have a video linked below that walks you through my Dutch hormone test results. My hormones showed that my cortisol was really running high most of the day and I was not getting a break from it. So it was really important that I address that. And then supplement wise, what I did for supplements was I introduced a product called Matula tea. This is a tea that targets H. pylori. It comes in a kit of like a 30-day supply. It's fairly expensive, but this tea made a huge difference, especially in my daily stomach pain. So I steeped this tea and drank it on an empty stomach twice a day. I did make it last by using 1 tea bag a day, steeping it in the morning, putting it in a plastic bag in the fridge, and then using it again in the evening. So I wasn't going through 2 bags every single day. But this tea, I did it for about 60 days, drastically improved and almost completely resolved my stomach pain, which I believe was caused by the H. pylori. And the next supplement I did was I introduced digestive enzymes, a broad spectrum digestive enzyme that would help me digest fat, protein, carbohydrates, etc. And I took these with every single meal, and I also took them with snacks. And this became my lifeline and really helped me digest the food I was eating better, and the reactions I was having to food went significantly down. So this was really something that gave my body a break and helped my gut heal, because now I was able to digest and break down my food properly. The next product I took was called Biocetin. This is a liquid that breaks down biofilms that pathogens and infections can hide in. So in order to target those pathogens and infections I had, I needed to break up that film, which is kind of like a protective barrier that these guys like to live in, and it forms like an ecosystem. So I worked up to taking 10 drops 3 times a day on an empty stomach. I had to work up slowly, but I took this before meals, and this was really great at targeting all of the bacterial overgrowth I had, and it also supported my immune system because now my immune system wasn't having to deal with this overload. I also incorporated a supplement called GI Detox. This is a binder, and it binds to toxins and also helps to reduce digestive complications and discomfort that can come when you start a protocol like this. Anytime you start a protocol that involves targeting bacteria and pathogens and parasites, it can cause some discomfort. So the GI Detox was a binder that I took on an empty stomach 1 to 2 hours away from other supplements and medications, and it was really great at binding to those toxins and making sure I didn't have any reactions. And the final 2 supplements I incorporated with this protocol was I took colostrum, and this supports parasite, pathogen, candida eradication, and also supported my immune system and my gut secretory IgA, which is a marker that is tested on the GI map, and that reflects your immune system within your mucosal barrier and your gut lining. Mine was almost non-existent, so incorporating this really boosted my immune system. And then I finally introduced a spore-based probiotic. I was taking a lot of probiotics before I had this test done, and I found that they were not really helping at all, and it's because they were not targeted to my specific needs. And this spore-based probiotic is very powerful, and it can make it past stomach acid, which is important. A lot of probiotics get killed off by stomach acid. So I took this and I worked up very slowly to taking 2 capsules a day. And I was on this for quite a while. One final product, I did take one called Raintree Amazon AP. And this was for the parasitic infections that I had. And I did that for about 80 days. And yeah, that pretty much wraps up my protocol, the exact steps I took. So I went gluten-free, dairy-free, processed sugar-free, whole nutrient-dense foods, lots of bone broth, easy on the raw veggies. I addressed the stress in my life. I changed up my work schedule. I did less. I tried to sleep more. I focused on what was within my control, and then I incorporated supplements that would move the needle. So Matula tea, digestive enzymes, balancing out the overgrowth of bacteria, boosting up my good bacteria. And if you want to access any of the supplements that I listed, you can check out my full script supplement dispensary. I'll have that link below. And yeah, that's it. So hopefully you found this video helpful. Please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, comment below what you have going on. If you've got gut issues, if you have any questions, I would love to help you, and I'll see you in the next one.